Depois de conquistar o mundo dos videojogos, Assassin's Creed prepara-se para tomar de assalto a sétima arte. Michael Fassbender, que protagoniza e é também produtor do filme, explicou-nos o que o atraiu neste projeto.
What drew you to this project?
Lots of things, but the first thing that struck me was the concept of genetic memory. That within our DNA we have the experience, the knowledge, the memory of our ancestors passed down through the generations as a sort of survival tool. And we might describe that as a sixth sense or an instinct or a gut feeling. That was the first thing that struck me, because I thought not only is that fascinating, but I thought absolutely plausible. So it anchored this fantasy world in something very real.
Para além do talento e abdominais de Fassbender, o filme conta também com a lindíssima Marion Cotillard no papel da misteriosa Sofia.
How would you describe Sophia, your character?
Well, Sophia Reichen is a scientist. She's a very, very complex character. You can feel it through the relationship she has with her father, and at the same time connected to the people she uses as a lab rat, basically. And there's this relationship with Callum Lynch. I guess she didn't expect to be that fascinated by his personality.
O jogo já conta com milhares de fãs por todo o mundo. Uma realidade moldada pelo conflito entre assassinos, que defendem o livre-arbítrio, e templários, que procuram a paz através do poder e controle. Tudo isto viajando no tempo através do ADN. Um universo complexo que o realizador Justin Kreuzer tentou passar com o maior detalhe possível para o grande ecrã.
I think you have to kind of take the things that you love about the game, and I think that there's certain moves and iconic kind of looks to the game that we didn't want to shy away from. But to be honest, it was about how we could make it feel as real as possible. I think that there was, I don't know, when you make a film, there's a kind of obligation there, I think, to try to find a kind of truth to something. And for us, it was about shooting in real locations, doing all the stunts for real, trying to avoid green screen as much as possible. And using real sets. So, and that was all about kind of, I guess, offering the gamers a different experience, but also trying to kind of connect to those that are not familiar with the game with a real story and with a kind of real landscape.
Quando se trata de adaptar um jogo com o sucesso de Assassin's Creed para cinema, há necessariamente uma preocupação com a autenticidade do mesmo. Por isso quisemos descobrir qual era a relação dos nossos atores principais e realizador com a série de videojogos. Estaremos perante verdadeiros gamers?
My first introduction to the game was actually the script. I was not familiar at all with the game, but then when one of my friends found out that I was part of the Assassin's Creed's movie project, she went absolutely crazy.
That must have been a very interesting conversation.
Yeah. Well, what was funny was that she was like feeding me with a lot of information about the universe of the game, about the characters, about the concepts of the game, the historical context, and she was like, "Oh, I have this information, so it means that you're a Templar," and blah 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 blah. That was really funny, and that was great to have, this introduction to the game through the passion.
I played it just after I came on and sort of signed on to make the film. So I had a 2-day boot camp with Ubisoft, who took me through all the games and all the different stages and the gameplay of it. But yeah, I hadn't played since I was like 13, 14 games, and I was quite amazed by how much that evolved.
I am, as far as any game. I mean, I don't really game. I'm not a gamer, but for sure, I played it since joining on, and joining up with Ubisoft. And it's an extraordinary world. The precision and detail that goes into it, it's breathtaking.
And I saw you give an interview where it was very interesting. You said you were playing in your trailer, and sometimes it gets very frustrating because, the character goes up walls and...
The same wall. I kept going up in the same corner. I ended up in the corner trying to climb a wall that was unclimbable. It's, again, I'm a bit of a klutz. It takes me a while to learn something.
Dos papéis mais famosos de Michael Fassbender é o de Magneto, de X-Men, mas o alemão é também considerado dos grandes atores dramáticos da sua geração. Quais terão sido os grandes desafios na interpretação de Callum Lynch, a personagem principal?
You do independent films as well as blockbusters. Do you approach the characters the same way? Or?
Pretty much. I mean, with this film, of course, there was a lot of physical preparation, so physical conditioning, a lot of time spent with the stunt team, working on fight choreography. There was the parkour elements that I needed to learn about. So in that respect it was a bit different. And also smaller films you tend to shoot very quickly. This was over a 4-month period, so it's a different discipline in some respect.
Quer seja fã do jogo ou não, a verdade é que Assassin's Creed é um filme de ação com grandes interpretações e que promete deixar o público a pensar quando sair da sala de cinema a partir de 5 de janeiro.
What better way to spend your holiday season than going to see Assassin's Creed? There's something for everyone in the family.